word this. God, we thank you for this opportunity to meet and conduct the business of the county. We ask for your guidance as we make our decisions. We pray for world peace. Bless our country and our county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Commissioner Leyland.
Please join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Leyland.
Present.
Commissioner File.
Here.
Commissioner Marquetti. Here. Chair Dice. Commissioner Grice.
Here.
And Commissioner Jones.
Here.
And Commissioner Benjamin.
Here.
At this time, it's public comments limited to 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I skipped over some. Introduction of guests first. Jerry, can we start with you, sir?
I am Jerry Marquetti, Iowa Township.
Jennifer Renfro, Finance Director. Daily HR Payroll Director.
Daisha Kirkland, HR Assistant.
Tammy Stewart, Equalization Director.
Richard Vince, County Prosecutor.
R.J. Lee, Potential County Commissioner, District 8.
RJ.
Jeff Van Bell, Drain Commissioner.
Dee Reed, Facilities Director.
Dylan Reese, Facilities.
Rick, thank you, Sheriff.
The Road Slusher.
Mark Howie, Jefferson Township.
Mary Howie, candidate for County Commissioner.
Let's go, Mary.
Russ Kelsheimer, Jefferson Township, Deputy Treasurer.
Kevin Kelsheimer, Jefferson Township.
Thank you and welcome, everyone. At this time, it's public comment time. If anybody wants to address the board, you have 3 minutes. Any public comments? At this time, no public comment. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, Mr. Chairperson, I move for the approval of the agenda for October 20th, 2022 as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Recognition? None. Presentations. The first one, we'd like to introduce you our Equalization Director, Tammy Stewart.
Since I bore you with this report every year, I thought we'd do it a little different this year.
No, Horace.
We're not bored with each
Not
other.
at all. No way.
Give you a little bit about what Leanne and I do down there. I didn't put the goats in the picture, did you notice that? I had one trying to get my camera when I was taking the picture though.
Thank you.
So each year, by state statute, the equalization department is required to provide you with an equalization report in the spring and an apportionment report in the fall. We know that the apportionment report that I give you every year shows you a breakdown of taxable values and tax levies for the summer, village, and winter tax bills. But what does equalization actually do, is the question everybody wants to know. Leanne and I are a two-man team down there, and we work throughout the year to make sure each tax bill is calculated correctly and to ensure that the 70 million in revenue is correct. In the spring, we work on the equalization side, and starting in May, we start working on the tax side. But for a full calendar year, that's what these facts are listing. We went from October to September of this year, just for curiosity, to throw some information out there on what we do. So, the report is a compilation of the tax values and levies billed for 2022. It's the same report you see every year. This year, we have a total anticipated levy dollar for 2022 of over 70 million, which is a 5.7% increase over last year, mostly due to the taxable values being increased with the sales information. There's several processes that we go through each year to develop the report and the tax bills that create this revenue. Of this 70 million that we collect through these tax bill processes, 25% of the total revenue is for the county entities. For county allocated, for medical care, for council on aging, E911. The money that we collect, that 25%, constitutes 54% of your total revenue in your general fund each year. So, how do we do that? Here's some interesting facts by the numbers. We have over 36,000, almost 37,000 parcels that we deal with every year. We start the process in February, and it ends at the end of December, and we start all over again. For the last year, we've processed over 1,800 address changes for the tax bills. We've entered over 3,800 sales. Quite often, it's a quick claim sale with no dollar amount, but the ones that we did have a dollar amount total to over 270 million in sales that we've processed. We incorporated 471 new parcels from splits, combinations, and line adjustments. And we've had 40 tax description changes and updates. When GIS discovers that there's an error in the tax description, they send that to us and we process it through the system. We are on schedule to process 73,250 tax bills. That's one tax run for the 4 villages, and that's 2 tax runs for each township and city. 42 taxing authorities we work with to establish the levy amounts they are charging, such as the townships, the schools, the libraries, the ISDs, everyone that's on your tax bill. We have 95 different tax levies. Each year, the township's assessors, our drain commissioner is going to talk to you about his goodies tonight, all put through special assessments. In 2022, we're going to have 129 different special assessments. Those come to us in spreadsheet form, they come to us in lists with parcel and dollar amounts that all need to be reconciled, balanced with the assessor or the township, whoever's given that to us. The tax bill parcel numbers need to be verified that they're valid parcel numbers, and a lot of times it's back and forth with the entity to make sure those are correct. And then we also have our homestead imports that we do twice a year. I do those before the summer tax bills and before the winter tax bills with all 16 entities, which is bringing in all of their information and balancing it with the assessors twice a year. So we're busy, but this gives you a little bit of an idea of what we do to come up with this report and all of the taxable values that we collect and how much we need that money. And I know you're gonna have a question because you do every year. Nothing? Don't let me down, you always got a question.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing exciting.
Yes, there is, because you have a potential levy coming up in November. But if it does, I'll be back with this report again because I have to redo the report if it's voted in, so.
But we're not the only ones that have a initiative.
For 22, yes.
Yeah.
The other one is for 23. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions, but a comment, but this is good. This is, you're right, it is much different than what you usually tell us, but it's very interesting. Thank you.
And easier to read too, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next presentation is our Drain Commissioner, Jeff Van Bell.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Also, Drain Code requires that Drain Commissioner present an annual report to the Board of Supervisors, that's you folks. And so I'm here today to do that. Your drain office is sound on all fronts, financially and otherwise, which is good news. We had 8 drain assessments and 2 lake level assessments this year. I would call that average. And so you can see one quite large one on there for Barron Lake, hence why I came to this board earlier this year for that resolution. I would not have the authority to levy that on a lake level without that resolution. I have a little more leeway on the drains, but on the lake levels, I'm bound to $10,000 in a calendar year without resolution from this board. And I'll get to later, we are moving forward with that project, and so. My office is still being temporarily housed at Road Commission. My needs are being met quite well. My technology needs are being met quite well. However, I was in a meeting yesterday with Administrator Newton, and he made a comment. He said, we print reams of paper and we put them in filing cabinets. So I went home and thought on that, Matt. And I'm gonna lay a challenge for myself. This is the last paper report the drain office is gonna do. Next year, it's gonna be an electronic. God willing, with our new building, Matt,
Yes.
we'll have things on a board. We're gonna preserve this electronically. We'll place it on the drain webpage electronically. I'm gonna attempt to do this in paper. Jody offered this year to help do it, but I couldn't do it. It was too quick for me. We talked a little bit about it just before the meeting. Government, struggles with this, Matt, you hit this on the head, but everybody can just keep striving, and so I'm gonna try and do my part. So, our GIS director, Erica, took over our remonumentation program. Thank you, Erica, if you're out there somewhere. And they're well on their way now. Of course, I still assist the surveyors in some of the information. We currently have a petition with Porter Township. This is a petition that was in conjunction with the Road Commission on Union Road. Anybody familiar with that? There's a whole host of drain issues out there. We're gonna attempt to tackle those, kind of fight the fire in order of intensity. So we're just getting started with that. We also have a potential petition with Silver Creek, kind of a similar situation, where we have a drain coming out of Magician and it works its way down the Dowagiac, and there's some issues, and we're gonna break that down into order of intensity. Our lake levels, we have 19 lake levels in this county. That's a lot. Our dam inspections are due next year. I don't anticipate any issues. We operate 2 pumps for augmenting of lakes, Twin Lakes and Barren Lake. We had a pump go out, got a lightning strike last year at Twin. With supply chain, I was able to locate a pump, but I did not get that replaced till March or so. But I was able to get Mosier Well Drilling to take care of that. And I was able to get Bender Electric to take care of those needs, keeping that in county when possible. We also have a new phenomenon occurring. Well, it's not new, but it's getting newer. Governmental lake boards, as Commissioner Leyland and Commissioner Dice, but he's not here, well known. They come to you, the units, and they say they want a governmental lake. They ask you to form a governmental lake board, and statutorily, I must serve on that board, or put a designee. We're up to 3, and as Commissioner Leyland will tell you, they're quite interesting. The constituency is different lake to lake, so you really have to adjust. However, we are moving forward. This one that's been formed on Stone, which was formed under Bruce Campbell, look at the improvements. It's vastly improved. We're currently forming one on Shavehead. A lot of problems out there on the lakes. The riparian owners are overwhelmed. As soon as they solve one issue, then here comes the next latest and greatest invasive. I was hoping the state of Michigan would be a little further along in this, with potentially a matching program like the state of Indiana does. There's always hope. We are seeing some development out there. We approved potentially a subdivision in Ontawa. We have a new gas station going up in the village. The library's reached out to me. They're looking to build a new branch. They're going through that process right now. Obviously here in Cache, you're seeing the hydro plant and everything. If you've driven up 60 lately and seen all that equipment, that's fiber all coming in now from 40, and it's coming all the way in. They were also this summer, if you went up 62 here, all that you were seeing, that's fiber running through there too. So, things are moving along. That's good to see. I think that will potentially improve the courthouse, Matt, when that ends ultimately be wired in. We're gonna potentially be on that new fiber, so I think we'll see some benefit to that also. I'm also on the Board of Public Works, and we are looking at a potential project in the Lakes Area Sewer Authority. And it's with a entity up there called Miracle Camp, which I'm not specifically familiar with. It's a 200-bed facility that wants to expand and really can't without this sewer. So we're gonna be working through that. Not sure what that's gonna entail. We're looking at, I know at Porter Township, Van Buren counties, and Miracle Camp have put up money for the study. That's occurring as we speak. But at some point, if that's gonna move forward, the Board of Public Works through this board would be the financer of that project. Intercounty drains, these are drains that go between the counties. Can always be challenging. We have a project with St. Joe and Corey Lake. Looks like it's gonna finally get built in '23. The project with Van Buren on Bankston Lake is, my understanding, we were supposed to have a recent ruling from Court of Appeals. I still attempt to mediate that. I've met with the supervisors from Van Buren and the Cass side, so I still stay involved with that. But at some point, there's only so much I can do. Challenges facing the drain office. We are facing some challenges. One is technology. That challenge I put on myself. Also, now that we're getting a real GIS department, that's gonna be critically important to the drain office to set these districts up properly and correctly. And so I look forward to working with them. The old districts were these square things that they just kind of squared off on a piece of paper. Now we actually do them by watershed, et cetera. And GIS is a great tool to do that fair and equitably, like it should be. My website, I talked to Administrator Newton about this. Ambrosia, I'm gonna work with Ambrosia. The drain office needs a total revamp. There's things on there, one of the things I learned about websites are things have to drop off, things have to come on. You can't just create it and walk away from it and say, there, it's done, it's good. It doesn't work like that. They have to kind of be evolutionary, and so I'm looking forward to work with Ambrosia. Matt says she's great at this, and I wanna get some stuff off there, I wanna get some stuff on there, and there's some things statutorily we need on there. So we will be working on that. Paperwork nightmare I mentioned. Staff, I'm a one-man drain office, and I'll get to my acknowledgements here in a minute. There's no way one man can do what's getting done in this drain office. It takes many. Tammy and Leanne. I can't begin to tell you the back and forth to get these assessment rolls out. Erica in the GIS department. Erica is a great one. She wants to learn things. She understands the drain office. Jen, keep my finances straightened out. Thankfully, our finances are sound. Jackie, that's who processes my bills, but Leanne had to do it this week.
Yeah, that's right.
Beth
Yeah.
processes my mileage, reminds me when I forget. I'm not these people's boss. But they do this to keep me afloat, and so Hope and her deputy Paulette, receiving of the money, very few mistakes are happening. Jody and the technology keep me going to solve the issues. And a few pictures on here. You guys want to flip to the back real quick? When I say dams, that's our high hazard dam. I walked across that myself in boots, so don't get too concerned about dams. Things don't always go right. An excavator in February and March go, I want to do it, the ground will be froze. Swamps don't freeze. And if you see the next picture, I have a video by the way, that went well into the night. I now have Travis True's cell phone number from True Towing, who ended up working us through that. And if, I don't know if you can see that, 2, 3 more pieces of equipment had to come in to, oh yeah, that was quite the, this was the finished product. We don't go out and strip the drains. Property owners hate it. You know, that gives something for wildlife. If you really look at that though, if you really look at that, you're looking well up a half a mile. So, and then this last one. That's what a lot of them look like out there. So we're kind of in quasi-dry period right now, and it's a really good time to go out and just take care of this. It's not expensive, it's not, doesn't need to be engineered, it just needs a little touch-up. And with that, I'll take any questions.
What did that one on page 14, the nature or some beavers, animals?
Probably what that looks like is big storm events pushing that all.
Yeah, pushing all that.
Yeah, which if you guys remember, we got hit, the east side of this county got hit with a big storm event. And usually within 2 to 3 weeks, we get calls and we start finding that kind of stuff, so yeah.
Any other questions?
Just a quick one. Mud and pine. Now, is that mud like in Mason Town?
No, it's up in Marcellus.
Marcellus, okay.
So, long history of calls on that one, and Marcellus Township, you can tell Leanne, they're not getting calls now. We fixed it.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yeah,
Thank you,
is there
Jeff.
Anything from the Board of Commissioners you need that you're not getting?
Well, like I said, long-term, I'd like to look at part-time deputy, a backup of some sorts. I have a wife and a family, and I need to take vacations, and I don't mind, you know, answering emails, this and that, but we gotta remember, folks, that can get dangerous, you know what I mean? Number 2, I would also like to look at the possibility of setting up a maintenance fund. This would be a fund. This would, just in quick terms, this would be like a credit card is all it really is. The money would sit there, we would use it and replenish it. Why do we do that? So when the fund doesn't have money in it, and Jen's going, well, wait a minute, we don't have the money, we're always constantly scrambling. If it's too big a number, I can float a drain note, et cetera, but when you're a one-man drain office, that's really not the efficient way to do it. Allegan County has somebody full-time just to manage the borrowings. And so a lot of these projects can get done for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, which used to be a big number, really isn't anymore. So if we had a way of just cycling those through something that was just sitting there, I think you kind of know what I'm talking about, Jim.
You ready?
It's just really just a number, and it goes up and it goes down, but it never really goes away. It just sits there, you know what I mean? I'd like to look at that for the future if possible.
Thank you.
Jeff, so you said you need help. That's what I heard. If you could, send us like a job description for what you need and potential hours, and because talking with Jen, you know, about money, if we hire somebody off the street, you got the top line, then the ones in the middle that nobody knows about, then the bottom line that everybody pays attention to, because that's a big deal. But if you would send us a job description and how many potential hours to replace you, like say you win the lottery and you tell us deuces, you know, we need a backup plan for that. And I think that's something that's huge, because your job ain't there just for shits and giggles. You know, it's important. So I'd like to, you know, to move forward on that if you could.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. We'll get right on that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Benjamin.
Yeah, this is for Monica. I'd like to make sure that we capture the 2 items, part-time deputy and maintenance fund in
Yeah.
the minutes. Thank you.
That way we can follow up on
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Proposed consent agenda?
Motion 199-22 is a motion to approve claims dated October 14, 2022. Motion 200-22, motion to approve the October 6, 2022 Board of Commissioner regular meeting minutes and the October 7, 2022 Board of Commissioners special meeting minutes. I move the above listed items be voted on at one time by a roll call vote and be considered as consent agenda by the Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All,
Roll
oh,
call.
roll call, please.
Commissioner Leyland,
Yes.
Commissioner File,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti. Yes. Commissioner Benjamin,
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
Yes,
And Commissioner Jones.
Yep.
thank you. We're down on the agenda for committee reports. Commissioner Leyland.
Just one quick update. We had a meeting earlier this afternoon with the representative from the USDA Rural Development Office in Grand Rapids pertaining to the $1.5 million of congressionally directed spending. We've got all the application paperwork and we're trying to have that done by next Wednesday to get it submitted next week to get that project rolling and see if we get that money or not. That's all I had.
Any questions for him? Thank you. Commissioner File.
No report.
Commissioner Dye's not here. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes. Commissioner Grice and I attended the Connexus meeting on October 7th. There's always so much going on in that meeting that I tried to select items so that this report doesn't get over long. Okay, so new officers were selected, and Lyons Industries in Dowagiac received a state award. It's the Michigan Works, they are the Employer of the Year. In September, unemployment for the Tri-County area is 4.5%, which is actually good, but there were 7,500 job openings posted during that time period. Jobs for Michigan graduates received a Department of Labor grant to partner with Michigan Works to create a workforce pathway for graduates. And the Jobs for Michigan graduates is active with Rouse Beatty, and it's active with the Dowagiac High School Union, Dowagiac Union High School. There is a new executive director for the Michigan Growth Alliance, which is another Connexus subsidiary. Her name is Elizabeth Barnhart, and she is working with Dan Wyant of the Edward Lowe Center. So Cass County is becoming more and more involved in what's going on. Second meeting I attended then is the Human Services Coordinating Council, and the featured presentation was Deborah Hackworth, and she's of Domestic Abuse Sexual Assault Services, which is called DASAS. Deborah and her family have worked and volunteered with DASAS for 21 years. They're based in Three Rivers, which is where the shelter is located, and they would like to help do more in Cass County, and they need to let the community know they are ready to help. There is a number if their services are needed, and I have that number. And during the roundtable, Kim Smith reported that SMACA is back in the DHHS offices, which everybody's back in the DHH offices. The Van Buren Cass Health Department met October 12th also, and the health department is doing the kindergarten oral health for Cass, Berrien, and Van Buren. We agreed to do Berrien County because they did not have the capacity to do it. We also do kindergarten health screening for all 26 schools in Van Buren and Cass. The result, we finished our strategic plan. We discussed that. Danielle reported that she and the staff are working on a wage analysis. They've taken assailant training, and for the dental program, dental equipment upgrade has all been installed. All new dental equipment in the Lawrence office. There have been COVID outbreaks in 2 nursing homes, one in VB and one in Cass. Fortunately, there have been no deaths and no hospital stays. Dental saw 57 vets from Cass County, and it continues to be busy. Within the next few months, this board, our board, will be presented an addendum to the health code, which is regarding landfills as restricted zones. And we do have a landfill in Cass County. It's not operating, but that will be part of a restricted zone. In other words, people will not be able to build houses around there because of hazard. And then also I want to remind you that all shops are available at the Dowagiac Health Department. And I just very quickly want to say last night, we had a very good brownfield and land bank presentation at the county leaders meeting. And I want to thank Matt and Hope Anderson for setting it up. It was very, very good. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Robert?
So the landfill that you're discussing, is that the abandoned landfill that's in Milton?
I think it
That
is.
has the
Yes, it is.
populated,
Yes, it is.
polluted
Yes.
water supply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be
Yes,
one
it
of those
is.
cities to walk at too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I don't know if they're familiar with that.
I
I
hope
can
so.
That
let
was a
you
big
know.
one.
They all got new wells because of the contaminated water.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can I'll let him know
It's
that.
south of Mill Pond,
Okay.
southeast of Mill Pond.
Northeast of Mill Pond.
Northeast,
Okay.
yeah.
Because the one he was talking about, that we're gonna do an addendum to the health code. Because there's a big issue in Van Buren County where a number of homes are built in a hazardous area. And it's caused so many problems that we are making a change to the health code. But I will I'll let George, his name is George Friday, he's our environmental director.
Yeah, he can get with me or Ryan, as we're
Okay.
familiar with that place in
Okay.
Dowagiac.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Analysis on the plume.
Mm-hmm,
So if anybody's needing that, it is checked into Milton Township's library.
okay,
So,
Okay.
and that is the closed report that showed the flow.
Okay.
And they did test sites in Howard Township and throughout Milton.
Okay.
It was supervisor.
okay, not down to the hazard information, okay.
Thank you. Any other questions for Commissioner Marquetti?
And then
My report from District 6, several meetings, but I'm going to talk about one, 911 Authority. I don't know how many people realize what they have to go through daily. I'll give you a good example of 911 Authority again. Last 88 days, they received 25,759 calls. That averages 292 calls a day. And CAD, which is computer-aided dispatch, 14,371. That averages 163 a day. Total 911 calls for that time period is 5,261. That averages 59 calls a day on 911, and that's just between July 20th and October 19th. So they're busy over there all the time. So if you ever see them, just say good job.
Yeah.
I mean, they work hard over there for the people of Cass County. That's all I have. Any questions for me? Commissioner Jones?
We dissolved our homeless committee last meeting to get it to a more grassroots entity. And if you all been watching the news, Elkhart, or just say St. Joe, Indiana, has revamped their homeless program, and I got with the executive director. So we're gonna have good things going to where we can work in conjunction and have less governmental interference, we'll say, because it gets crazy when we get involved as a government. Then for our beloved veterans, business as usual. We're working on one big case right now where it's a lot of money, but thanks to our finance director and our administrative director, Matt and Jen, and our veterans director, Carrie Kraus, we're working through it. We're gonna help this veteran out as best we can. And other than that, no issues. Needs a new roof. Combat veteran of 3 tours like me, family, a little bit younger than me. I'm retired, he ain't, so he needs help. So we're gonna do the best we can. That's all I'll have.
Thank you. Any question for Commissioner Jones?
Just, what about a community development block grant? For,
Maybe. Oh, that's
Yeah.
another,
That's an interesting
that's
idea.
another one, yeah. Because we're looking at all avenues, this upwards of $20,000 to help this
Sure,
guy out,
sure.
for a new
Yeah.
roof. And they
Because
just
there's-
can't do it
yeah, where does he
Um,
live?
here in this county.
Oh,
Yeah, and the rest, I gotta be careful.
okay. 'Cause I was gonna say, we,
Yeah. Hmm?
Okay, thank you. Appointments Committee
Chair.
report. Yep.
I do have a report.
Oh, I skipped you.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay. You're in the middle. I skipped you. Sorry, sir.
The Southwest Community Action Agency met yesterday. And so one of the things I have to report is it was awarded $500,000 for the Michigan Hope Program.
Yeah.
That's the maximum amount that any of the community action agencies were awarded in Michigan. I do have a programmatic report. I didn't have the opportunity to send that last night, but I will get that out to you later this evening. If anyone has any questions about that report, feel free to reach out to me. That's my report.
I have a comment.
Yeah,
I wrote a letter for them,
yes.
so, and I was so happy when I saw they got that.
And the max. that
Yeah,
they were-
and the max, yeah, that's a big deal.
Commissioner Benjamin, can you tell me what the hope?
I can send you information on how they're gonna use that. So
Okay.
I don't have all the details on that,
Okay,
so.
thank you, I was thinking his problem. Thank you. Okay, moving on, appointments committee report.
I have no report.
Thank you. Administrator's report.
Yes, my report is in the packet. I'll touch on a couple things. We're working right now, an opportunity came up for us to potentially seek a rural development grant for the broadband mapping that we've been discussing. Grant would cover 75% of the total cost, so would actually be a really good option to be able to facilitate that and, you know, save some money in the process as well. There is a new ORV map that has been posted to the website. After the ordinance was passed, it had gone back through the road commission for kind of final approval on the roads to be closed. The road commission made a final determination to only close roads in townships that elected to do so. So it's quite a change. It's up there now, I believe, so anybody that would like to review that, please feel free to do so. We'll be having a public hearing next meeting rather, for CDBG funds. We do that every year. That's part of the Emergency Home Repair Loan Program. We'll have a kind of a closeout. We spent, I think it was roughly $47,000 of the funds that were available last year, and I think it left $4,000 that went back to the state. The way this works is as the income comes in, if you don't spend the previous year's amount, you have to send it back. So we're always trying to do whatever we can to keep that money here in Cass County now that the program has ended. We can keep revolving it as long as we utilize it. For 2022 through 2023, I worked with MEDC to confirm it. We'll have roughly 91,000 available. So we're gonna do a lot to really advertise that and get that out to everyone. It's for a number of different repairs, so it could be furnaces, roofs would be an example. There's a number of different things that can qualify for that. And then I'm working with one of his aides, but Congressman Wahlberg may be coming to visit us sometime next week. They just reached out to me today, and I think they'll be in the area on Tuesday, so they want to learn a little bit about Cass County and maybe take a tour of our courthouse, so we're going to talk about that as well. And then I think with the My Hope program, Hope actually is pretty good with it. I think a lot of it has to do with energy efficiency and home improvements, so I'm really excited for that too, and glad to hear that the Community Action Agency was awarded that as well.
Thank you. Any questions for the county administrator? Commissioner Benjamin?
Yeah, I'm gonna be requesting for the next board meeting that we discuss some of the programs with the sheriff's office, but I wanna
Okay.
kinda give you a heads up. I was gonna ask for this meeting, but I wanted to get some time for administration to look at that, as well as any committees that need to take a look at that, but I think it's important that the Board of Commissioners has a discussion on that.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that gives enough time for you guys to maybe have discussions with the sheriff's committees or whoever needs to be involved.
Okay.
You speaking about the sheriff department as far as
The jails administration, those projects.
yeah, okay, because I was gonna bring that up later on, but that's a good point.
Yeah, I wanted to give some time for administration to be prepared for it.
And we have a public safety committee that myself and Commissioner Leyland that are on, so that would help us, help the sheriff, and help us. So if we can be involved in that, let me know.
I'll do that too. I just wanted to
All right.
have some prep before we had the discussion with the Board of Commissioners.
Any other questions for county administrator?
I've got one.
Oh.
When did the road commissioners have a meeting at their last meeting and decide that? For the road change?
I think it was actually in August. We just confirmed that with them because we had taken the
It
map
happened in
down.
August and we're just now finding out about it?
Yep. We wanted to circle back around to it, found out it happened a lot earlier. So we're
Okay.
adjusting now.
Thank you. Financial report?
It's in our packets.
Any questions for the finance director on it? Public safety report.
No report.
Thank you. Moving on, county partners. Elected officials.
I didn't see it come in.
I snuck in late, sorry, I had court. I just wanted to tell everybody today is World Youth Day, and we had a fun little event that district court organized at our building where, in the training rooms, employees brought in pictures of when they were young. And then, people had a forum where they could guess who was who, and tomorrow the winners are gonna be announced, so. It was just really fun, and the employees really enjoyed it, so I just thought I would share with you that that was, well received,
Did,
so.
did Jennifer Renfro bring in her school picture from when me and her went to school together?
I did not see that.
Ah.
You know, next time we'll include everybody and
Yeah.
having commissioners involved too. maybe.
Yeah, well, you can't help but pick me out of the group.
Any other elected officials? Unfinished business, it looks like we have none. Under new business,
R 201-22 is a resolution to adopt the 2022 apportionment report. So moved.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner File,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Yes.
Commissioner Grice,
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yep.
And Commissioner Leyland.
Yes.
Motion 202-22.
That's a motion to approve 2022 special assessment rolls. I so move.
Second.
Roll call on this one. Just a
No,
motion.
it's a motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passed. Motion 203-22.
Motion to appoint Bernie Williamson to the Cass County Historical Commission to an unexpired term ending July 1st, 2024. I so move.
Second.
Second.
Gotcha.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion 204-22.
This is a motion to approve budgets for the Raise the Age grant and the Child and Parent Legal Representation grant for the 2022-2023 fiscal year as presented.
Support.
Thank you. Discussion?
Yes, I just want to say, as long as Carol is here, what a great job you all do getting those grants, honestly.
Mhm.
You really are to be congratulated, you and your whole staff, absolutely.
It's our team, and then Jennifer helping us.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion 205-22.
This motion to approve the problem-solving court budgets for the 22-23 fiscal year as presented. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion 206-22.
That's a motion to approve 2023 holiday schedule. I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr.
For
Benjamin.
administration, are we sure that this is all the holidays that are?
Yeah, there was a revised version that went out that same night. I don't know if you guys have the right version, but it was Good Friday was
Oh, that's
is a
good.
holiday that would be there as well.
That's good.
And it is, let me double check here just to make sure.
That's not on this one, but as long as you all got it, that's good.
Yeah, we have it on the revised version. It was an error that we made and fixed and sent it out. That'd be April 7th, Friday, April 7th.
Thanks for including that, Matt.
Oh, 2023.
Thanks for getting.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passed. This is part of our agenda, motion 207-22.
This is a motion to enter a closed session to review attorney-client privilege communications pursuant to MCL 15.26H8H and to include Kirk Register Monica McMichael, Administrator Matthew Newton, Finance Director Jennifer Renfro, HR Director Beth Daly, and any other party as may be designated by the chair, by the board chair.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Requires a
Oh,
roll call.
even though it's a
Yeah.
motion?
Well, maybe.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
And Commissioner Kyle?
Yes.
At this point in time, we probably will not come back in open session, do any business, so you can hang around when we,
Won't.
Clarification, you will have to come back into open session to adjourn.
okay,
Support.
that, but no county business will be performed, so just for your info.
Nope. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get out of here.
Business to conduct.
me. I didn't know what I was supposed
I'm not happy.
We heard before.
You need to be 100% with that shit, man, not that wishy-washy 80-20.